Hello everyone, this is Steve Nordmark. I'm the Chief Academic Officer of Novation. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Novation, we partner with educators, districts, education technology solution developers, and content providers, focusing on designing and implementing innovative, personalized learning solutions that reduce the barriers to learning. We have solutions like NetTracker and iCurio that have been in the K-12 market since 2000. I've been involved with the Learning Resource Metadata Initiative, or LRMI, since 2011, and I've been following the progress of the Learning Registry. In this presentation, I'm going to discuss leveraging digital learning resource metadata in K-12, specifically referencing Novation's Resource Personalization Service and Learning Resource Library. This is a presentation that was originally delivered at the LRMI Metadata Meetup event in Washington, D.C. back on July 30th. When people think about leveraging open educational resources, or OER, they often think free. Yet as we see on this slide, free does not translate into no cost. There are real costs associated with finding effective digital learning resources. Those costs in efficiency and effectiveness translate into real costs when you consider the time teachers are spending to find those resources. These estimates are based on the time it would take a teacher to find exactly the resources needed utilizing some of the free OER alternatives. And these don't necessarily consider the more precise and specific needs for resources that teachers may need to find following formative assessment when their need is to adjust instruction and reteach in a way that meets specific student needs in areas that their students are struggling with. Education technology vendors are constantly talking about creating meaningful solutions that leverage OER. Yet, as SIA's paper released last year points out, there are significant costs, as much as an additional 20% annual cost that cannot be ignored. In addition, the complexities associated with intelligently integrating and leveraging OER into a meaningful classroom solution are as significant as the costs. While some believe that content is king, I would argue that context is the real king of the education technology world. When attempting to use resources to meet specific learning objectives, not only are there significant variances in quality from repository to repository, but the evaluations of resource quality can vary greatly based on the context of use. For example, the quality of an open education resource can be significantly different when used for English language learners than it would be for a classroom of accelerated or gifted learners. Therefore, it's not just the quality of the learning resource itself you have to manage, it's the quality of the contextualization, and thus the quality of the learning resource metadata that's critical. It should describe the digital resource as well as help inform the learning context, that learning context that it's best suited for. Then, teachers and students seeking the best digital resources for their unique needs can easily find them. Based on a highly scalable and efficient platform, Novation recommends learning resources to advance learning opportunities across K-12 subjects and grades. Each resource goes through a 127-point certification process performed by teacher curators and led by doctoral-level curriculum content managers. Each of those doctoral-level curriculum content managers has district-level administration and curriculum experience. Novation identifies, contextualizes, and monitors the relevancy, quality, and safety of every learning resource. We employ a unique combination of automated manual curation processes to vet, tag, index, and align every individual learning resource, significantly reducing the time it takes teachers to find appropriate resources to address diverse student needs, from remediation to enrichment and everything in between. We blend a unique combination of automated and manual curation processes to vet, tag, index, and align every individual learning resource. And we have a highly scalable, efficient resource personalization service platform that allows us to do standards alignments at the individual resource level as well as the topic level. This balance of automated and manual processes allows us to maintain efficiency and keep those learning resources classroom ready. Here at Novation, we have distinctive contextualization that we do within that 127-point certification process. So within that contextualization phase, we're not just tagging for the resource's title, description, and keywords. We certainly do that, but we go beyond that and we do things like readability. Again, readability, highly useful in making sure that when you're trying to teach a particular topic, you can have a level of differentiation for students who are at a low level of readability as well as those who are at higher levels of readability. We tag for topics within standards. That allows us to not just stop at some of those broad standards, but get down to the specific skills within those standards, providing a greater level of specificity for teachers looking for resources, teaching that specific skill that they're focused on that day. We have keyword-specific context of resources, again, trying to avoid those false positives, focused on keywording resources not just based on the text of the resource, but broadly focused on that resource and helping people find what they're particularly looking for. Similarly, with the learning resource type, trying to focus on what is the essence of that resource. So if a particular resource has video, maybe has an assessment question, maybe has some pictures in it, again, we're focused on what is the essence of that resource. So it's going to match that teacher and or students' search when they're going to look for the best resource for their unique needs. Tagging for lesson tags, again, looking at, are things focused on more appropriate for the beginning of the lesson during that hook or introduction, or are things focused mainly on practice or assessment. We tag for authority and subject depth, using specific rubrics to guide professional review and then making it easier for end users to find the best resources. We have specific tags for timeline and famous person. Again, incredibly helpful within K-12, especially within the context of research projects, when students are often asked to find specific famous people during a time period, making it much easier to find those resources in the least amount of time. And our applications don't just deliver the resources, they actually capture information as users engage with the learning resources, as they find, save, rate, and organize them. We use automated log data from the feedback into our ongoing maintenance process. In addition, we take input directly from users within the product, recommendations on quality of resources, and particular topics they're interested in, often performing content concierge services for districts who are looking for unique topics, units, lessons that meet their unique needs. Although Novation has been contextualizing resources for over 14 years, there's still great room for growth in building metadata profiles that will help meet the market needs to push closer to the personalization promise. For example, within the formative assessment feedback loop, great opportunities to connect the learning resources to the assessment items, trying to identify those remediation needs and provide redirection. Great opportunities within depth of knowledge, trying to optimize the fit to that student's zone of proximal development. Within variable mastery, tagging resources for remediation, general instruction, and enrichment, so that teachers and students have a better understanding of where this particular resource fits within that learning process. Links to learning progressions, pathways, augmenting the standards, linking those standards into logical maps, logical progressions and pathways. And as students move through those pathways, they can see which resources fit that particular skill at that particular time. Accessibility, great opportunities to connect new tags on learning resources to meet the unique needs of students looking for additional accessibility supports. And as I mentioned earlier, usage data, also known as paradata, providing an integrated view of the automated and human-contributed data about the usage of the resources, again focused on trying to identify the most effective learning resources for the students. That concludes my digital learning resource metadata in K-12 presentation. Really hope you found it useful and that you find the opportunity to work with Novation to advance closer to the personalization promise.